I'm showcasing my top 5 meta loadouts in Warzone 3 Season 3, which just like always, I'm just going through and telling you guys exactly what you should be running heading into the brand new update. So of course, stay tuned for all that, but real quick, I want to give a massive shout out to the Noti gang. Without further ado, top directly into the list. Starting up the list at our honorable mention spot, we have the Ram 7 assault rifle, which this has been the best gun in Warzone 3 for quite some time, but in today's update, it is catching a massive nerf. We know how they are with nerfing weapons, but since it was such a big nerf, I'm tossing it at the honorable mention spot since I'm not 100% how much it's going to affect it. Before the build, starting off with the muzzle, we're going to be tossing on the ZIM35 compensated flash hider, which I've been running this on almost every single build recently, and no matter what gun you use it with, it makes it to where it has no recoil. Then we'll be tossing on the Cronin Headwind long barrel, giving you guys that bullet velocity and damage range, aiming auto sway and firing aim stability, making sure the Ram 7 is hitting harder. You guys are also getting closer to hit scan, and it's making it to where you're even more accurate. And speaking of being accurate, we also have the Bruin heavy support grip for our underbarrel, helping out the Ram 7 in every possible way, giving you guys that gun kick control, aiming auto sway, horizontal recoil control, and firing aim stability. Like I said with the muzzle, making sure the Ram 7 isn't moving whatsoever. The mixing it perfect with the rest of the build is the HPS 3.4 pad for our stock, giving the build even more gun kick control and recoil control, making sure the Ram 7 isn't bouncing all over the place. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 60 round drum mag. Increase that mag capacity, which with the fire rate on the Ram 7, this is absolutely essential for the build. But overall, that's my full build for the Ram 7 assault rifle in Warzone 3 Season 3. Like I was just saying a second ago, this has been the best weapon in Warzone for quite some time, and it's most likely still going to be super good even after the massive nerf. So make sure you guys go through, give the entire bit a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. But that's our honorable mention. So let's hop into the actual list now. Starting off the actual list at that number 5 spot, we have another assault rifle with the SVA 545. Just like the Ram, it's been super good in Warzone for a very long time. It's never really been at the top of that meta conversation, but it's always been in the mix with all these weapons. So hopping directly into the build, we have the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor, keeping you guys off that mini map, but also giving you guys that recoil control, bolt velocity, and damage range, making sure the SVA isn't moving whatsoever, but you guys are also getting closer to hit scan, and you're going to be hitting harder. The mixing it perfect with the muzzle is the STV Precision Barrel, giving you guys that aiming auto sway, bolt velocity, and damage range, gun kick control, and recoil control, which this is basically giving you guys the exact same pros and cons as the muzzle. And just like I always tell you guys, the optics are 100% personal preference. You guys can run whatever you feel the most comfortable with, but for me on the SVA, I felt the best with the brand new Jack glassless optic. And for the next attachment, there's 2 different ways you guys can go with this. I was running the Bruin heavy support grip for our underbarrel, helping out the build with that gun kick control, aiming auto sway, horizontal recoil control, and firing aim stability, helping out the SVA in every possible way, just making it to where it has no recoil. But if you guys don't want an underbarrel, you can toss on the main V6 stock, which gives you guys that recoil control and gun kick control, and it's technically better in the detailed stats. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 60 round mag. Increase that mag capacity, making it so you don't have to reload after every single kill. But overall, that's my full build for the SVA 545 assault rifle in Warzone 3 Season 3. Like I was saying, this has been super good in Warzone for a very long time, just never really at the top of that meta conversation. So if you guys haven't already, go through, give the entire bit a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. Let me get you guys my loaded number 4 real quick. At the number 4 spot, we have our first SMG on the list. We have the Striker 9, which in my opinion is insanely good. You guys were telling me all last season that I was heavily sleeping on it, and I absolutely agree. So of course, let me get you guys the build for it. Starting off with the muzzle, we have the ZIM35 compensated flash hider, which like I was saying with the Ram 7, I've been running this in almost every single build recently, and no matter what gun you toss it on, it makes it to where it's not moving whatsoever. And with the big SMG, we want to be as fast as humanly possible, so we're going to be tossing on the DR6 hand stop for our underbarrel, giving you guys that aim walking speed, ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed, helping out the Striker 9 in every possible way, just making you guys a whole lot faster. And speaking of being faster, we also have the Striker factory stock, giving you guys that aim walking speed, movement speed, and sprint speed, mixing in absolutely perfect with the underbarrel, making it to where you're absolutely gliding around the map. Then this next attachment is 100% personal preference, but I was tossing on the 9mm high grain ammunition, giving you guys that bolt velocity and damage range, making it to where the Striker 9 is hitting harder, and you guys getting closer to hit scan. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 50 round drum mag. Increase that mag capacity, which with the fire rate on the Striker 9, you're absolutely flying through your ammo, so I would 100% toss on the 50 round drum mag. But overall, that's my full build for the Striker 9 SMG in Warzone 3 Season 3. Like I was saying, I was heavily sleeping on the Striker 9 last season, so I definitely won't be doing that this season. So make sure you guys go through, give the entire bit a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. That's our loaded number 4. So let me get you guys our loaded number 3. Loaded number 3, we have another SMG with the WSP9. If you guys have been watching my videos for a little while, you guys know this is one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. It has been for a super long time. So of course, starting off the build, we have the His Short Light Barrel barrel, giving you guys that ADS speed, sprint and fire speed, and sprint speed. Same thing as the Striker 9. We want this to be as fast as humanly possible, and this is the perfect attachment to do so. Then mixing it perfect with the barrel is the DR6 hand stop for our underbarrel, giving you guys the exact same pros and cons as the Striker 9 build, and it's just making it to where you guys are faster in every possible way. And like I was saying with the last build, the 9mm high grain ammunition is 100% personal preference. If you guys want to run a different attachment, you absolutely can, but this is giving us that bolt velocity and damage range, making sure the WSP9 is hitting harder and you guys getting closer to hit scan. Then mixing it perfect with the rest of the build is the WSP factory stock, speeding you guys up with that ADS speed, movement speed, and sprint speed, making it to where you're absolutely flying when using this build. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 40 round mag, increase that mag capacity while also holding on to a little bit more mobility compared to the 50 round mag. But overall, that's my full build for the WSP9 SMG in Warzone 3 Season 3. Like I was saying, this has been one of my favorite weapons in Warzone 3 for a really long time. So if for some reason you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go through, give the entire build a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. Let me get you guys our loaded number 2. Loaded number 2, we have another assault rifle. We got the Holger 556, which if you guys don't know, a couple updates ago, this got a pretty big buff. And ever since that, it has been one of the best assault rifles in the entire game. And now coming off the Season 3 update where we got a massive Ram 7 nerf, this might have just taken that number 1 spot. So hopping directly into the build, we're going to be tossing on the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor, helping out the Holger in every possible way, keeping you guys off that mini map, making sure you guys are hitting harder, getting closer to hit scan, and to where the build isn't moving whatsoever. Then we'll be tossing on the Cryo 6-match long barrel, giving you guys that bolt velocity and damage range, recoil control and gun kick control. Like I was saying with the muzzle, making sure the Holger 556 isn't moving at all, and it's giving you guys that boost for that damage range and 10% towards that bolt velocity. Same thing as the SVA. Like I always tell you guys, the optics are 100% personal preference, but I've been feeling the absolute best with the brand new Jack glassless optic. The mixing it perfect with the rest of the build is the RB Adel Assault stock, giving you guys that recoil control and gun kick control, which if you guys check the detailed stats, gives you 14% for the horizontal and vertical, making sure the Holger isn't moving whatsoever. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 40 round mag, increase that mag capacity, making sure you don't have to reload after every single kill. But overall, that's my full build for the Holger 556 assault rifle in Warzone 3 Season 3. I'm telling you guys, after that massive buff it caught a couple updates ago, it has been one of the best assault rifles in the entire game. So if you guys still haven't, make sure you guys go through, give the entire bit a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. But let me get you guys our last loadie on the list, loadie number 1. And of course, in the number 1 spot, we have the HRM9 SMG, which in the update actually technically caught a small nerf, just making it a little bit slower with the sprint to fire speed. But overall, the damage and everything about it that makes it so incredibly broken didn't get touched. So hopping directly into the build, we're tossing on the Zim 35 compensated flash hider, which like I've said over and over in this video, I've been running this on a ton of my builds recently, and no matter what weapon you use it on, it makes it to where it has no recoil. And of course, since it is an SMG, we're tossing on the DR6 hand stop for our underbarrel, speeding you guys up with that aim walking speed, ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed, helping out the HRM9 in every possible way, just making sure you guys are a whole lot faster. And speaking of the damage on the HRM9, we're going to be tossing on the 9mm high grain ammunition, giving you guys that bolt velocity and damage range, which this attachment is one of the main reasons why my build puts people down so fast. And for the next attachment, we have the folding stock, giving you guys that recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability, which this is going to mix in absolutely perfect with the muzzle, allowing you guys to beam anybody you really need to using this HRM9 build. And of course, for the last and final attachment, we have the 50 round drum mag, increase that mag capacity, which as you guys can tell, the only other option is a 20 mag, so this is absolutely essential for the build. But overall, that's my full build for the HRM9 SMG in Warzone 3 Season 3. I feel like this has been like my number 1 meta SMG build for a really long time, so it kind of sucks it didn't catch a bigger nerf with the update. But just like always, make sure you guys go through, give the entire bit a try, and tell me the highest kill game you guys get with it. That's it for the video.